So, who is this guy, TJ Walker, the host of Filtered with TJ Walker? Well, it's me. I'm TJ. And the reason I started this show is I wanted to share with you the same insights I share with my clients that I've shared with around the world for the last 40 years. I've had a lengthy career doing communications training, media training, personal development training with top Wall Street wizards, with billionaire fund managers, with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and top executives, as well as presidents of countries, prime ministers, Nobel Peace Prize winners, Miss Universes, professional athletes. I coach all of those people on how to communicate more effectively, how to look comfortable on camera, how to shape messages, how to speak in sound bites, because I believe that is the number one factor for success. It's also the number one thing holding people back from success when they don't learn how to communicate. So, do I have political opinions? Sure, but this is not a political show. This is a show designed to help you build personal development skills and communication skills in order to make you more successful, regardless of your politics, your ideology, regardless of what country you're in. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have more than 12 million student enrollments in my courses from every country in the world other than North Korea. I don't think I have that, but even the Vatican, even have some explorers in Antarctica who have become students of mine. So I have a perspective on this that isn't just a guy coming up with concepts in his basement. I'm bringing you real world experience, having worked in the trenches. So as I mentioned, 12 million online students, which arguably makes me the most popular, most successful online communications coach in the world. But I also have 40 years of experience of training people in person, quite often one-on-one, small groups, in-person, day-long workshops where I teach people how to give presentation, how to speak to the media, how to look at a camera without looking scared stiff and your eyes darting back and forth looking nervous. I teach all of those skills. And now I want to uncover what you see in the media to give you a better sense of how you can communicate effectively, how we can decode what's going on in these news stories to get a better sense of what's really happening, what's real, what's fake, what's reality versus what is spin. Look, I am a spin doctor of sorts. I can help someone spin almost anything, and my value to you right here on this show, this podcast, whether you're listening on the audio podcast, on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, or watching on YouTube or any other social media platform. My beauty that I bring to you is I can show you what's really happening to give you a better understanding so that you don't buy the spin, so you don't get sucked in, so you don't just throw all your money at the latest AI startup just because they tacked on the word AI and that's a nice buzzword and gets media attention these days. So the goal is to help you become more successful. We are forming a community here at Filtered with TJ Walker. And there are a lot of people from around the globe. Many of you are already my online students. You've taken my courses on communication skills or personal development or habit building, and now you want more. The other thing this show does is I take your questions live at the end of shows. So we do the show live. It's then distributed as a podcast. But if you show up live and post questions, I'll actually take your questions live. Most podcasters and most podcasting companies want to do everything behind closed doors. Oh, we got to edit, refine. We got to edit out the ums and ahs. What you see is what you get here. You're not seeing an edited version of me. This is live right now, and it's live to the tape, so to speak, when you're watching it or listening to it in a podcast format. The only thing we cut out is if we're doing short form videos or YouTube or TikTok shorts, we may pull a section of it out. But the actual full-length podcast is typically 50 to 60 minutes long, and you're getting it unedited. I'm not afraid to show you warts and all. Do I occasionally make mistakes? Yes. Will I occasionally do something like this where I'm looking at the wrong camera and I'm looking at another wrong camera? Yeah, I'll occasionally make mistakes. That's okay. I want you to see if I can make mistakes, you can too. My biggest hope for anyone watching this show is that you can use this as a part of your own journey for growing, building your skill set, advancing your goals, improving your daily habits, and becoming a more successful person at a personal level and a professional level. That's really the goal of this show. And that's why I think it is different about this show. It is different. I have been fortunate to have a unique career. This is a very narrow niche career that I've entered, being a full-time media trainer. And I did it before there was YouTube, before there was iTunes. I did it before there was really the internet. I've been doing training since the 1980s. Now, I realize there was some early version of the internet, but I didn't know about it. Chances are you didn't either. So I've been in this and I've paid my dues. So when you hear me give an opinion, it is based typically on what works, having worked with thousands of people just like you. And I've worked with 12-year-olds who have a problem stuttering, and I've worked with presidents of countries and prime ministers. And at some level, everybody's the same. Everyone's a little insecure about, oh, how do I look? How do I sound? Does this make sense? Where should I look? Everyone has some insecurities. Everyone's a little unsure about how they come across. And everyone can learn from a coach. I'm here as your coach. I remember the first time, it was almost a quarter century ago. I was over in Eastern Europe for the first time, a former satellite of the Soviet Union, a former communist-run country. It had switched to democracy. I'm working with the prime minister, and we're in a former dictator's palace in a remote part of the country. It's me, the prime minister, a couple of aides, and about 10 bodyguards with machine guns. And I'll never forget that the prime minister says to me, "Hey, TJ, do you mind if I practice this speech in my native language?" It's okay, I don't understand it, but okay. I'm video recording it, and he's just reading his speech, blah, 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 monotone, head down, no eye contact. I'm videotaping it. We then watch the speech together. And he says, "Well, TJ, what did you think? Give me your honest opinion." And I'm thinking, wow, this is a little awkward. I thought he was incredibly boring. I don't know what he said, but the way he said it, boring, monotone, same speed, same tone, same volume, head down, no eye contact. How could anyone? It's incredibly boring, but I felt a little nervous because here I am. It's not that long since the end of the Cold War. I'm surrounded by bodyguards with machine guns, and I don't even know where the U.S. Embassy is. But I finally thought, okay, this guy's paying me a lot of money to give him honest opinions. I guess I will. I said, "Well, Mr. Prime Minister, with all due respect, I don't know what the heck you said, but you bored me to death." He looked at me, his eyes got big. He looked at the guys with machine guns. He looked back at me. He looked at the screen again and said, "You're right, it is insanely boring." And he took his speech and tore it up, threw it on the garbage, threw it on the floor. And we both said, "Okay, let's start over." We got a plain notepad. And I said to the prime minister, "Tell me, what is it in one sentence that you really want your audience to do after hearing this speech?" Because it had been a big laundry list type of a speech. Way too many facts, way too many details. So we brainstormed on topics, came up with about 20. I said, okay, now narrow it down to just 5, your top 5. We eliminated 50. Now, give me a story for each one involving a real conversation you had with a real constituent, a real executive, someone in your country about a real problem, where you were, how it felt, the emotions, and how it was resolved. He thought of one, wrote a couple of words to remind it. He said, okay, can we try it again? The whole process took about a half an hour. This time he stood up. He only had a single sheet of paper in front of him. I turned the camera on. He spoke. Now he wasn't trying to read paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. He could just glance down occasionally, talk for a couple minutes, glance down occasionally, talk for a couple minutes. His voice came alive. The eye contact was back. He was looking at me. He was looking at the others in the room. A smile came on his face. The stories animated him. It was interesting to me and the others in the room. He was interested. He finished the speech. We watched it. As soon as he was done, he jumped up, hugged me, and says, "TJ, you're a genius. Now I'm a great speaker." I said, "With all due respect, Mr. Prime Minister, you were always a great speaker. You were just artificially forcing yourself to do something that was awkward and boring. All I did was unleash your natural speaking abilities and put a spotlight on it." So that's really what I do as a media trainer and as a public speaking coach, as I help unlock people's inner abilities that they use in other parts of their life. Because the big problem so many of us have is we're really good one-on-one talking to 2 people, but all of a sudden we get in front of 10 people or 3 important clients or a TV camera or an important podcaster. We stiffen up, we get scared, we get nervous, We start looking and sounding awkward. We don't think as well because we're nervous. We say something stupid and it can really hurt a career. And it's a shame because you can practice in advance. You can get rid of that nervousness in advance. That's what I help people do. So that is a part of who I am and what we're going to do in this show, Filtered with TJ Walker. If you have any other questions about me, feel free to post questions. You can send me a direct message. I'm pretty accessible.